24-year-old from Tashkent. Had a bye in the first preliminary round as well, before a terrific victory over the Olympic quarter-finalist Vladislav Smyatlikov of Belarus. Then a 4-1 split decision win over his Central Asian neighbor from Kazakhstan, Aybek Oralbay. And then he prevailed over the 2021 European Under-22 Championship silver medalist Lewis Williams with explosive bursts and marauding mid-range attacks. His straight right to the body was an effective shot as well. And now that the referee has checked the equipment of both boxers, he calls them to center ring. So Holger Kusmal of Germany is our referee. And we are underway. Semi-final action in the 92-kilogram heavyweight division between boxers from Cuba and Uzbekistan. The man wearing red, who had just leaned back to avoid that shot fired in his direction, is Julio César Cruz, the reigning Olympic heavyweight champion. Man who has taken 5 consecutive medals and ever present on the World Championship stage since Baku 2011. And already he's into his groove, leaning back, making the man miss and making him pay with shots to the body. That man is Madiyar Saydrakhimov, 24 years of age. That's the man in blue, creeping forwards. This a rematch from World Series boxing that Andy and I covered during its existence. They met in the second round of the 2018 season, and it was Julio César Cruz who scores with a good left-right while on the back foot, who prevailed on a 3-0 decision victory. While Saydrakhimov, having shared 5 rounds with him in the World Series boxing code, knows what Cruz is all about. Everybody worldwide who follows AIBA boxing knows what Cruz is about, as he scores with a left jab to the body, employs the layback, scores with the right cross, and just skips back beyond punching range once again. But doing something about it is an entirely different beast. Got to close the distance, got to apply pressure, but Cruz knows every inch of the contours of the ring canvas. He'll know when he's close to the corner, able to change direction. He's got terrifically long arms and incredible reflexes. And many questioned whether that quality of reflex was beginning to just be dulled a little bit. But the move up to 92 kilograms after his bronze medal finish 2 years ago in Yekaterinburg, where he lost to the eventual champion Beksad Nurdaletov of Kazakhstan, is a good right hand over the top from Cruz. Well, even though the pandemic and the ravages of it have been an issue for everybody worldwide, from the myopic perspective of an athlete, to Saydrakhimov got through with a right hand to the temple over the top a few moments ago. From the myopic perspective of an athlete, the year's delay from the scheduled Tokyo Games to 2021 probably actually helped Cruz, who scored with a big right hand over the top and then a left hook on the back foot, sat down on that shot and detonated it on the target area. Terrific punch picking. But again, an extra year to acclimatize as he makes Saydrakhimov miss. An extra year to acclimatize to the move 10 kilograms north, probably serving this man very well indeed. And he looks completely comfortable in the 91-92 kilogram heavyweight division. For my money, he's taken that first round pretty comfortably.
He has, particularly with that strong finish. For about 30 or 40 seconds before that, I just wondered whether Saydrakhimov might get a bit of percentage with that close-up, leaning and mauling, if you like. As the bigger man, he might be able to take something out of Cruz, but it just wasn't the case. And the 5 judges across the board there going 10-9 in favour of the fighter in red, who, as you say, when a couple of things happened, like getting knocked down by Khalil Ko, like only getting a bronze medal at the World Championships, you thought, okay, his reflexes have probably gone a bit, which they were going to at some point. That's what happens. Moves up to heavyweight. I wasn't convinced. I'll admit it, I wasn't convinced, but this is what great boxers do, isn't it? They do things that you don't think they can do.
So into the second round then, Saydrakhimov of Uzbekistan offers his glove to Cruz. He's picked off by a backhand from the man in red, who was just carrying that right hand against his cheek a few moments ago. Now it's down by his pec. To his credit, Saydrakhimov trying to crowd and swarm his opponents, but Cruz so comfortable in the pocket. Terrific strength in his legs and lower back to be able to sway back to almost 45 degrees, but yet remain upright. There's an example of it there. The layback is extreme from Cruz. So composed, seldom hurried, and now that's an intelligent move from Saydrakhimov. He tried to target the body of the man in red when they were at close range. Cruz scoring with a right cross. Now the sidestep that he used to enter the arena being demonstrated in the boxing ring. And look at that, without a change of pace, Saydrakhimov put on the end of a check right hand there. You saw Cruz look in the direction of a ref as he landed that right hand and spun off the line and say, what, you're not going to issue a standing count? It was a wonderfully picked punch, disrupting the balance of the man in blue, and then just fed him a flicking left jab, which disrupted his forward movement. So approaching the midpoint of this second round, Cruz is flowing beautifully. Saydrakhimov has got to remain concentrated, cannot get discouraged or distracted by the success that Cruz is enjoying. Pecking, poking with the right hand once again, scores with the left cross. Shows his willingness to be physical on the inside. And then working away to body and head. Two left hooks fired upstairs by Cruz. Big swing and a miss with the right hand goes long from Saydrakhimov. Boxers exchanging shots after the command of stop from our referee. Good work to the body again from Cruz. Terrific punch picking. And because he is such a smooth boxer, he often gives the impression that he's not a puncher. But again, Andy and I covered World Series boxing in its entirety. Oh, and there's an example of what he can do when he sits down on the shots and digs in that left uppercut into his opponent's abdomen. And those will slow down Saydrakhimov, slow down the feet. And mixing sporting metaphors for a moment, it's almost like watching a matador do his thing, because the onrushing opponent just continually being slowed by these pecking, poking shots that are coming in his direction. And then it just makes him an easier target to pick off the longer the contest goes on, because in stark contrast, the man in red is seldom being hit with clean punches. It really is incredible to behold, because the boxing ring is the same size for the both of them, but for Cruz, against so many opponents, he makes it appear so much bigger.
He does. He's always done that. He did it at 81 kilos. Now he's doing it at 92. And I think my concern for him when he moved up in weight was that maybe those reflexes had gone a bit. He takes it across the board again here, so a 2-point lead on all 5 cards going into the final round. And that if he got hit clean by a heavyweight, then he could be in trouble. But the flip side to that, of course, is that heavyweights are slower than 81-kilo fighters. And he finds them easier to hit, I think, whilst being able to stay out of the way. And there's just not really anything that Saydrakhimov can do with him here. He's going to keep coming forward, keep trying, and really just keep hoping that he can land something big.
So into the third and final round we go. And Madiyar Saydrakhimov, the reigning 3-time national champion of Uzbekistan, needs a knockout here. Now he's doing a good job remaining committed to his task. As unlikely as it seems, it is not beyond the realm of possibility, because as Andy referenced earlier, that was part of the grapevine buzz that was surrounding Cruz, because Khalil Ko, in the 2018 Chemistry Cup in Halle in Germany, scored a knockout when he sent Cruz to the canvas. Cruz got back to his feet. The referee looked into his eyes and waved the contest off. And that sent shockwaves through the world of AIBA boxing. Remember, I was up at the Haringey Box Cup when word started to spread about that at the Alexandra Palace in North London. People could scarcely believe it. But thanks to the technology a lot of people have in their pockets, we were able to confirm it pretty quickly. And if you recall before that, Joshua Buatsi sent him to the floor in a real Chuck Wepner. Oh, that's a good left hand, turned underneath to the belt line, and then a left hand upstairs, cracked out. There's the same shot once again. And look at the effect it's having on Saydrakhimov. His mouth is open, he's gulping in oxygen, because again, any boxer who is trained in technique, if you've got 92 kilograms of weight behind you, those punches are going to be impactful. So as languid and cool and composed as La Cruz appears, he's got a fair dig on him as well. And again, the Chuck Wepner moment, the Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed moment enjoyed by Josh Buatsi, who went on to take Olympic bronze in Rio. He put La Cruz on the floor in Doha in 2015. La Cruz got up and won the contest and ultimately went on to win the tournament. But that was all part of the narrative surrounding him during that phase of his career. But back-to-back Olympic titles in 2 different weight divisions earned by La Cruz over the previous 2 Olympic Games, and having come away with World Championship bronze in Yekaterinburg 2 years ago, as that's a big swing and a miss with the left hook, telegraphed by a man whose radar is working wonderfully. Excuse me, telegraphed so it's easily read by a man whose radar is working wonderfully. But up at 91 kilograms, well, he's carried his speed advantage with him. And the heavyweights, you see Saydrakhimov backing off there because he's been touched up repeatedly, slowed down by the accuracy and punch picking of Julio César La Cruz. 10-second clapper is sounded, and he just chooses to disengage. He makes his way over to the Uzbekistan corner. And again, look at the respect between the two, because Saydrakhimov, only 24 years of age, he's been in the ring with him before, but what an experience. And the man's receiving a standing ovation here at the Stark Arena, is the Cuban boxer, because they know that they have witnessed greatness. And I don't wish to overstate it because the man's still in his career, but when you pay your admission money and you get to see a man of this caliber at his best, it's something you can tell people who are into sport. I watched this man live in my home city, and listen to the ovation he's receiving as we await the verdict.
Absolutely, he is a great. He is a great. There's absolutely no question about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the bout number 483, the winner points by unanimous decision is the boxer out of the red corner from Cuba, Julio.
So the familiar salute performed once again by Julio César La Cruz, saluting the crowd here, and look at the respect between the boxers and the coaches of the opponent. They know that their man, Madiyar Saydrakhimov, gave everything he had tonight, but it wasn't close to being good enough. But let's give Saydrakhimov credit, coming through a terrific tournament, beating some very good boxers to come away with a World Championship bronze medal in this, his first appearance at a World Championships. But Julio César La Cruz, his quest for a 5th World Championship gold remains intact.
It does, it does. He's the kind of fighter who will be talked about for years to come, in the same breath as some of the greatest to ever have done it, quite simply. I remember probably one of the best days of my boxing life, my career covering this sport, was watching him and Arlen Lopez and Robeisy Ramirez train before a World Series boxing final, and just going to the gym, and they were just doing the basics.